Outside, in the center of a harsh and spectrum city, all things natural are strange. I grew up in a genuine confusion between grass and weeds and flowers, and what colored meant. Except for clothes you couldn't bleach, and nobody called me nigger until I was 13. Nobody lynched my mama, but what she'd never been had bleached her face of everything but very private furies, and made the other children call me yellow snot at school. And how many times have I called myself back through my bones' confusion, black, like marrow meaning meat? And how many times have you cut me and run in the streets, my own blood? Who do you think me to be, that you are terrified of becoming? Or what do you see in my face you have not already discarded in your own mirror? What face do you see in my eyes that you will someday come to acknowledge your own? Who shall I curse that I grew up believing in my mother's face? Or that I lived in fear of potent darkness, wearing my father's shape? They both have marked me with their blind and terrible love, and I am lustful now for my own name. Between the canyons of their mighty silences, mother bright and father brown, I seek my own shapes now, for they never spoke of me except as theirs, and the pieces I stumble and fall over, I still record as proof that I am beautiful, twice blessed with the images of who they were and who I thought them once to be, of what I move toward and through, and what I need to leave behind me. Most of all, I am blessed within myself, who are come to make our shattered faces whole. Therapy. Trying to see you, my eyes grow confused. It is not your face they are seeking, fingering through your spaces like a hungry child. Even now, I do not want to make a poem. I want to make you more and less apart from myself. The same death over and over, or lullabies are for children. It's the small deaths in the supermarket, she said, trying to open my head with her meat-white cleaver, trying to tell me how her pain met mine, halfway between the smoking ruins in a black neighborhood of Los Angeles and the bloody morning streets of child-killing New York. Her poem reached like an arc across country, and I'm trying to hear you, I said, roaring with my pain in a pre-dawn city, where it is open season on black children, where my worst lullaby goes on over and over. I'm not fighting you, I said, but it's the small deaths in the gutter that are unmaking us all. And the white cop who shot down 10-year-old Clifford Glover did not fire because he saw a girl. Ballad for Ashes. Nobody lives, cried the thin man high on the sunny stone steps of my house, dreaming. He lied. I saw him come flying down to the ground with a thud. I touched his bruised face with my fingers in the low sun. A man crept up to a golden cup to beg for a drink. The water was cold, but the edges of gold slit his lips like a sieve. A woman, dirge for wasted children, for Clifford. Awakening, rumors of the necessity for your death are spread by persistent screaming flickers in the morning light. I lie, knowing it is past time for sacrifice. I burn, like the hungry tongue of an ochre fire, like the benediction of fury, pushed before the heel of the hand of the thunder goddess, parting earth's folds with a searching finger. I yield one drop of blood, which I know instantly is lost. A man has had himself appointed legal guardian of fetuses. Centuries of wasted children, warred and whored and slaughtered, anoint me guardian for life. But in the early light, another sacrifice is taken, unchallenged. A small dark shape rolls down a hilly slope, dragging its trail of wasted blood upon the ground. I am broken into clefts of screaming that sound like the drilling flickers in treacherous morning air on murderous sidewalks. I am bent, forever wiping up blood that should be you. Parting. Belligerent and beautiful as a trapped ibis, your lean hands are a sacrifice, spoken 3 times before dawn. There is blood in the morning egg that makes me turn and weep. I see you, weaving pain into garlands the shape of a noose, while I grow weary of licking my heart for moisture, cactus-tongued. Timepiece. In other destinies of choice, you could have come red-headed, with a star between your thighs, and mourning like tender mushrooms, rising up around your toes, curled like a shan-tongued woman's toes, pausing to be loved in the rice fields at noon, or as sharpened young eye teeth, guarded in elegant blackness, erotic and hidden as yam shoots in the parted mouth of dawn, balancing your craft as we went, upstream for water, Elegba's clay pot whistling upon your head. But we were new for this time, and used wild-edged pieces of rock, struck off with a blunted hammer spread under high sun, and the rocks cry out, while we tell the course of each other's tongue with stones, in the place where the priestess hurled out palm nuts from enchanted fingers, and the stones mixed the colors of rainbows, flashing, you came like a wheaten song. Fog report. In this misty place where hunger finds us, seeking direction, I am too close to you to be useful. When I speak, the smell of love on my breath distracts you, and it is easier for me to move against myself in you than to solve my own equations. I am often misled by your familiar comforts. The shape of your teeth is written into my palm like a second lifeline. When I am fingerprinted, the taste of your thighs shows up, outlined in the ink. They found me wandering at the edge of a cliff, beside nightmares of your body. Give us your name and place of birth, and we'll show you the way home. I am tempted to take you apart and reconstruct your orifices, your tongue, your truths, your fleshy altars into my own forgotten image. So when this fog lifts, I could be sure to find you, tethered like a goat in my heart's yard. Pathways from mother to mother. Tadpoles are legless and never learn to curtsy. Birds cannot pee in spring. Black snakes go crazy, bowing out of the presence of kings. Digging beneath a riverbed whose heart is black and rosy, I find the sticky ooze I learned rejecting all my angels. It puzzled my unborn children, and they paused in my frightened womb, a decade or 2 long, breaking apart what was begun as marriage. My mother wept. Fleshy lemmings dropped like corn into her hopper, popping as they hit the water, and hungry tadpoles winnowed up my falls. Wherever she wore ivory, I wear pain. I'm imprisoned in the pews of memory. Beneath the scarlet velvet is a smile, my mother weeping gouts of bloody wisdom, pewed, oracular, and seminal as rape, pursues me through the nightmares of this wonderland of early learning where I wander, cryptic as a saint, tight-mouthed as a cuttlefish, darting beneath and over, vital flaws unstitched like crazy patchwork, until analyzed and useless, I crest in a shoal of missing mommies, paid and made in beds of consecration, worshipped by rituals in which I do not believe, nor find a place to kneel and rest, out of the storm of strangers and demands, drowning in flooded churches, thick with rot and swollen with confusion, lashed to a raft of grins, aligned in an enemy reason, I refuse to learn again. Item: birds cannot pee, and so they shat upon our heads while we learned how to bow out of the presence of kings. Death Dance for a Poet. Hidden in the forest of questions, unwilling to embrace blackthorn trees, to yield, to go into madness gracefully, or alone. The woman is no longer young. She has come to hate slowly, her skin of transparent metal, the sinuous exposure without reprieve, her eyes of clay, heavy with the fruit of prophetic dreaming. In the hungers of silence, she has stolen her father's judgments. As the moon kneels, she lies with her lover's son, wild with the pain of her meticulous chemistry, her blind answers. The woman is eating her magic alone. Crusts of quiet breed a delusion she is eternal, and stripping herself of night, she wanders, pretending a borrowed fire within her eyes. Under the myrtle tree, unconcerned with not being a birch, the woman with skin of transparent metal lies on a cloak of sleep grass, closing at the first touch, unrelieved, clay-eyed, and wholly beyond comfort or mercy. She accepts the burden of sun, pouring a pan of burning salt over her shining body, over the piercing revelations of sinew and bone. Her skin grows soft and opaque, and out of the ashes in her range of vision, the executioners advance. Dream, songs from the moon of Beulah land, 1-5. 1. How much love can I pour into you, I said, before it runs out of you like undigested spinach? Or shall I stuff you like a ritual goose with whatever you think you want of me? And for whose killing shall I grow you up, to leave me to mourn in the broken potsherds upon my doorstep, in silent tears of the empty morning? But I'm not going anywhere, you said. Why is there always another question beyond the last question, unanswered out of your mouth? Another storm? It's happening, I said. 2. Whenever I look for you, the wind howls with danger. Beware the tree arms scream. What are you seeking will find you in the night, in the fist of your dreaming, and in my mouth the words become sabers, cutting my boundaries to ribbons of merciless light. 3. I dreamt you were driving me in a big black Mazda, the car with a rotary engine that ate up 3 kinds of gas at the same time. And whenever we came to a station upon our journey, I would have to jump out and explain to the red-faced attendant with a panting hose in his hand that each kind of gas gave us very different mileage, and we needed them all, for the combined use of all 3 would get us to where we were going with a great economy of energy. 4. You say I am sound as a drum, but that's very hard to be. As you cover your ears with academic parchment, be careful. You might rip the cover with your sharp nails, and then I would not sound at all. To put us another way, what I come wrapped in should be familiar to you, as hate is. What I come wrapped in is close to you, as love is. Close to death, or your lying tongue, surveying the countries of our mouths. If I were drum, you would beat me, listening for the echo of your own touch, not seeking the voice of the spirit inside the drum, only the spreading out shape of your own hand on my skin cover. If I ever really sounded, I would rupture your eardrums or your heart. 5. Learning to say goodbye is finding a new tomorrow on some cooler planet, barren and unfamiliar and guiltless. It costs the journey to learn letting go of the burnt out rockets, to learn how to light up space with the quick fire of refusal, then drift gently down to the dead surface of the moon. Recreation. Coming together, it is easier to work after our bodies meet, paper and pen, neither care nor profit, whether we write or not, but as your body moves under my hands, charged and waiting, we cut the leash. You create me against your thighs, hilly with images, moving throughout our word countries. My body writes into your flesh the poem you make of me. Touching you, I catch midnight. As moon fires set in my throat, I love you flesh into blossom. I made you and take you made into me. Woman, I dream of a place between your breasts, to build my house like a haven, where I plant crops in your body, an endless harvest, where the commonest rock is moonstone and ebony opal, giving milk to all of my hungers, and your night comes down upon me like a nurturing rain. Timing. In our infancy of action, we were women of peace, come to service islands with no bridges in sight. In the beginning, we all dreamed of an ending, but the wars of our childhood have aged us. When donations of soup from my yesterday's kitchen sour in the stomachs of beggars now miles away, and they toss in their sleep in doorways with a curse of worry upon their lips, then even my good deeds are suspect, fulfillments of dreams of the dead, printing so many starvations upon our future. While we labor to feed the living, beware the spirit of the uneasy dead, who trap us into believing in the too simple. Our childhood wars have aged us, but it is the absence of change which will destroy us, which has crippled our harvest into nightmare of endless plowing through fields, rank with death, while the carcasses of 4 million blackbirds, frozen to death because their chatter insulted the generals, escape in the back pages, like the 3 black girls hauled into an empty, hurried courtroom to point fingers at their mother. I was cooking pea soup while they murmured, "Yes, Mommy told us that she'd killed him." In front of many strangers, she told us, "Yes, he was a white man. May we go now?" And their eyes look like old women who sleep in the curve of neon doorways under newspaper, clutching a can of pet food for tomorrow's meal. Sisters, there is a hole in my heart that is bearing your shapes over and over as I read only the headlines of this morning's newspaper. Ghost. Since I don't want to trip over your silence, over the gap that is you, In my dark, I will deal how it feels with you. Climbing another impossible mountain, with you gone away a long time ago. I don't want my life to be woven or chosen from pain I am concealing, from fractions of myself, from your voice crying out in your sleep to another woman. Come play in the snow, love, but this is not the same winter. That was our first season of cold. I counted the patterned snowflakes of love melting into ice, concealing our dreams of separation. I could not bear to write our names on the mailbox. I could not bear to tell you my dreams, nor to question yours. Now, this poem makes those mornings real again. You were always real, Bernice is saying, but I see the scars of her pain. Hidden beneath the flesh on her cheekbones, and I do not know how many years I spent trying to forget you, but I am afraid to think how many years I will spend trying to remember. Artisan. In workshops without light, we have made birds that do not sing, kites that shine but cannot fly, with the speed by which light falls in the throat of delicate working fire. I thought I had discovered a survival kit, buried in the moon's heart, flat and resilient as turtles, a case of tortoiseshell hung in the mouth of darkness, precise unlikely markings carved into the carapace, sweet meat beneath. I did not recognize the shape of my own name. Our bedspread is a midnight flower, coming all the way down to the floor. There your craft shows. Letter for Jan. No, I don't think you were chicken not to speak. I think you afraid. I was mama as laser, seeking to eat out or change your substance. Mawalisa bent on destruction by threat, who might cover you in a thick dark cloud of guilty symbols, smelling of sandalwood and old buffalo musk, of fiery offerings in the new moon's chalice that would seduce you open, turning erotic and delightful as you went under for the third time, your own poetry and sweetness masked and drying out upon your lips. I do not even know who looks like you. Of all the sisters who come to me at nightfall, we touch each other in secret places, draw old signs and stories upon each other's back, and proofread each other's ancient copy. You did not come to me speaking because you feared me as I might have been, God, mother, grown, affluent, with the payment of old debts, or because you imaged me as quick chick cutting your praise song shared to ribbons. Thankless and separate as stormy gulfs, where lightning raged to pierce your clit with proud black anger, or to reject you back into your doubt, smothering you into acceptance with my own black song, coming over and over as angry nightmares upon your pillow, to swallow you into confusion like a cherished berry, or buy you up at random with my electric body, shooting out rhythm and symbol like lasers to burn you up in varnish before the night. When all the time I would have loved you, speaking, being a woman full of loving, turned on, and a little bit raunchy, and heavy with my own black song. Bicentennial Poem, number 21 million. I know the boundaries of my nation lie within myself, but when I see old movies of the final liberation of Paris, with French tanks rumbling over land that is their own again, and old Frenchmen weeping hats over their hearts, singing a triumphant national anthem, my eyes fill up with muddy tears, that have no earth to fall upon.